Hey folks, this is my review of the LG 65-inch 8K television. I've had it for about 24 hours now and gone through a lot of the features on this television. I have to say one thing, it has got a lot of features. In 24 hours I really couldn't cover them all, but you know, I will tell you what I have covered. I'll show you what I have covered. Most of the stuff is done using this LG remote control. And the interesting thing about the remote control is it's got this wheel on the front here, and so once you select it, and I'll show you when we turn the camera around to take a look at the television, it allows you to point at the screen and push things on the screen using the wheel and the select button. It's kind of like a computer mouse. So let me turn this thing around and we'll get a look at the television and some of the functionality that is quite impressive. Alright folks, so let's take a look at this television. I'm going to power it on. Now the reason why it's sitting on the floor here is I have a friend coming this next weekend to help me hang it on the wall. It is a fairly heavy television, and you're going to want two people to to mount it and to move it around, put the stand on it, what have you. Since I'm going to be hanging it on the wall, I didn't put the base stand on. But at any rate, television is booting up. It runs WebOS, as you can see, and it's actually pretty impressive. So come on, television. Might need to do some edits here. Alright, so we wonder what this, this is some, so you saw it on the screen here where the little flying mouse here is where you can select stuff. There's a home button, and when I click the home button, I can now start going across the menu and picking what I want to do with the menu. Or I can, let me get it back up again, just navigate left and right. So if you're more familiar doing that, and so obviously the search, the home dashboard, connection guide, Apple AirPlay. I don't have an Apple phone, so I can't show you that. Live TV. I have a media server on my network, so I can actually play videos off my media server. And it actually does a really good job of selecting items on my media server. I'll go ahead and show you. Well, pretty colorful here. I have a fairly structured layout here, and then I can pick something on here. I guess I should probably pick a home movie, because probably everything's copyrighted. So, at any rate, you can see that the picture quality is actually pretty good for this home movie. This is a 1080p movie, so it's just standard definition. It's not ultra high definition, but it looks pretty impressive. So you don't need to continue on. I'll back that out. Alright, so we'll go back to the menu. And so the LG Content Store is pretty inclusive. It has a lot of content here, and it's pretty well organized. I have to say that, if you're into an international audience, there's a lot of international content on here, so you're not restricted just to the United States. And it includes a lot of, how should I say? Go to all apps, and it'll get you a list of all the apps. Yeah, so it has, pretty much apps from all over the world. And a lot of this stuff looks like it's, free content from a network or a country, etc., etc., etc. So you can, explore it at your will. On the left side, it's got news, games, entertainment, life, education, news and info, etc. And it's pretty quick to set up the applications. The other thing, too, is on the remote, there is a dedicated button for Netflix, Prime Video, and a Movies button. And let me just push the Movies button and see if this comes up, because it was pretty impressive, actually, what it does is it actually finds movies on all the streaming services. So you've got, for example, these movies on Vudu, and then if I go over, this particular one happens to be on Netflix, Amazon Prime, etc., etc., etc. So pretty inclusive in terms of the kind of content that you can get to. All right, let's go back down here. The Netflix, Prime, Disney, these are ones that I happen to have. But then the channels that LG provides. So this is streaming content. You don't have to have an antenna or a cable service. I'll put the volume down on this. And there's all channels, 196 channels on here right now. So you pretty much can find anything you're looking for. So anyway, I was saying I don't have cable. I simply have an antenna on my roof, and I have about 35 channels off of that on live TV, and then I've got another 200 coming off the internet here, and then all the streaming services. So I think it's pretty, a pretty good selection of entertainment. Sorry, back to the guide here. There's Apple TV. What's interesting is there's this art gallery, and so I imagine when I'm sitting up, in the up on the wall, I might just put this art mode on, and these pictures. I mean, at 8K, these pictures are really incredible, and then I can move on to the. I think I can move on to the next one. Yeah, it'll just keep on cycling through, and so yeah, it's probably a lot more impressive here in person than it is on the video. So that's the movie mode, or the gallery mode. Yep. And then there's actually a sports alert, internet browsing, photos and videos. So there's some USB ports on the back here, so you can plug in a USB stick or get them off your streaming content. There's music, Alexa. So if you have an Amazon Alexa, you can control it with Alexa. That's the the new NBC Peacock, etc. So let's go into
I'm having trouble connecting to the internet.
Oh, see, Alexa heard.
Take a look at the help section in your Alexa app.
All right. Well, that wasn't expected, but at any rate, so I'm in a picture mode, so that's not going to help. Let me get back to live TV, and I'll make sure I keep it muted so that we can. Yeah, so go to live TV. And now I can go ahead and start configuring things for the television. So there's things like the picture mode, whether it's cinema, sports, high definition, filmmaker, content, expert, etc. Yeah, sound, whether you're hooked up to external sound or within the television, and you got standard, cinema, clear voice, sports, music, game, etc. Get to pick what you want to have for sound, what Bluetooth, optical, HDMI ARC, audio out, wired headphones, Bluetooth surround, optical internal. So there's a lot of options here. There's a timer. Whether you're connected to the internet, obviously you're going to want to be connected to the internet because that's how you're going to get the streaming content, as well as any updates to your television. And then there's several of the all settings, right? So aspect ratio, the channels. The tuning was exceedingly fast. I went to the tuning. It goes through the digital cable and over the air, the analog, and then it goes across and finds the ones on the network. So, and it took maybe 2 minutes. So it was very fast. Other televisions I've had have had to, to search a bit more. Talks about your connection, general settings, and you'll probably want to go in here and set this up in terms of, your location, your language. Once you set your location, typically the time and date will get set automatically. because it knows your location and if you're connected to the internet. Accessibility, so you can put the on-screen audio guide and it will speak to you as you're moving through the system, and then obviously on the screen you can see other things like TV power sound, high contrast, grayscale, inverted color, etc. And then there's even a support option where you can go and check the software updates, get information about your OS, etc. So that is probably, I can bring up the guide. And it's going to go ahead and you're going to, it's got a pretty good guide. I mean, it knows where we're at, what we're doing. And I believe if you go down far enough, you end up getting into the LG channels. Yeah, so now we're getting... and they're all consistent, so the IP channels would be the LG channels. And you see how quickly that loaded. So I have to say that, this is a pretty doggone impressive television. Obviously, when we get up on the wall, I can do a much better evaluation of it. Very low glare. I think you can see that from this. I've got an overhead light on, which I would probably turn off if I wasn't doing a video, and that would reduce the glare as well. So I give this television definitely all thumbs up. Oh, one of the things, and I think I can show you here, is there's not a lot of 8K content out there, but I was able to go to YouTube and find 8K content. So here's some 8K content. Obviously it's only a 4K video camera, so you may have a hard time seeing what's going on here. Let's see, what if I zoom in on it? So I'm zoomed in, and can you see like the hair on this bear is super fine detail, and the color graduation is very impressive. There's no jagginess or blur. Everything is super crystal clear on this television. So I'm sure more 8K content will be coming down the line. But even I noticed on 4K content when I was watching Netflix last night and watching the 4K content, the upscaling to 8K was very impressive. It actually was quite an improvement. Let's see if this bird, this grasshopper, you can see the details on this. Oh, no. That, I guess I should have tried to pause it. But at any rate, you can see that little fella and that little crocodile, the details in his little eye there. Pretty doggone impressive. I mean, I'm zoomed in pretty tight on this. This little monkey guy. Yeah. So yes, I would highly recommend this television. Certainly, it's got room for expansion. So when 8K comes along, you'll be able to do that. Or actually, my cell phone does 8K video. It's a Samsung, more recent model cell phone. It's got 8K, but I haven't tried to transfer any of those videos over to here. If I had more time to do my review, I probably would give that a try. Okay, well that's my review, and hope you enjoyed it.